Today I'm going to talk to you about the Blessed Mother. You think Jesus will get mad? He better not. His mother has a lot of power over him. Remember Cana? Yeah, she told him, you help these folks. He said, Mom, my hour has not yet come. She gave one of those mother looks like, And he did. All right, so we're gonna talk about the Blessed Mother, and then we're going to, we'll talk about birthing people. I mean, you see, I'm woke. Mothers in general. How's that? Okay? Okay. Let me tell you a couple of stories. First one, well, it took place, even before I was ordained a priest. See, when you're in the seminary, the last step is the diaconate. And that's when we got really a first assignment. And of course, we had been preparing for a long time, to enter holy orders, the diaconate. We knew priesthood was coming very quickly. Anyway, in those days, we didn't have computers. We didn't have emails. What you had was a bulletin board. And that's where they would pin up all the information. And we knew that on a certain day in May, the dean would post our first assignments. So everybody was very excited. You couldn't sleep that night. You wanted to see, where you were going. So we all got up very early the next morning. We post them at like 6 o'clock in the morning. Remember those old bulletin boards with the fluorescent light over them? That's what we had, yeah. And I can remember, I lived on I think the third floor, but I had to come down the elevator. And I come down the elevator, and the lobby is dark, but the light is on over the bulletin board. And all my classmates are gathered around the bulletin board looking for their assignments. And all I could hear was my name, and they were laughing. I said, I hope they get left back, I don't know what happened here. So anyway, I get up to the bulletin board and looking at the names, this guy is going to this parish, this guy's going to that parish, this guy is going to work with Catholic Charities, this guy is going to work at some high school. I get to my name, you know what it said? Michael Orsi in Cora State Mental Hospital. It's true, it's true. Things were very different in those days, especially, they didn't have, the medications that we have today and all that stuff, but still, I'm saying, why me? So we had maybe about 36 guys in the class. They didn't care in those days if you left or you didn't leave because they had plenty of other priests. And if you complained about something, they would say, go home. Go home. So I went to the dean, and I said, Dean, I was being like my diplomatic old self, and saying, hey, Dean, I got a question for you. I said, I'm not complaining. I just want to know, how come everybody else in the class got like a regular assignment, and I'm going to the mental hospital? And he says, we match people by their personalities. But anyway, I went and I got there, and I realized, I was sent there not just because of my personality, I hope not, but there's a lot of guys back from Vietnam, and they had post-traumatic stress and all those things. So, that's why they asked me to go there. It was a wonderful experience, but I had to visit all the different buildings in the hospital. This is in New Jersey, and it was a big complex. And there was one ward. They had what they call these open wards, but they were just like big rooms, closed ward. And there were big rooms, and they had glass around them, and that way people would not try to escape. And there was one ward where there were people who, they weren't dangerous at all, but you couldn't have them just wandering around the hospital. They'd get in trouble and they would get hurt. So in this one ward, there was this man named Willie. And Willie looked like, what did Willie look like? I can't even describe what he looked like. He was about 5 feet tall. Oh yeah, Frank Perdue. Remember Frank Perdue, the chicken? But a skinny little Frank Perdue. And he was real skinny and 5 feet tall the most. And I would always have my pockets filled with candy for them. So when he would see me coming, he'd see me through the glass, and he'd start screaming, my praise, my praise, my praise, I love you, my praise, I love you. And I'd open the door, the big doors, and I had the key, and I would walk in, and Willie would throw himself upon me, hugging me, I guess trying to, get the candy too. But there was one other thing about Willie. His nose was always running. So I don't know if he wanted the candy, he liked me, or he needed a handkerchief. But I came out of there like all, snotted up. That's a technical term. So anyway, on December the 8th, I was told that I had to go into this closed ward and have a prayer service for the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. And I went to the closed ward, and I brought a statue of the Blessed Mother with me, and made a little altar, had some flowers and all that stuff. And I thought it really looked nice. And like when you're just starting out, I think I was 25 years old, not even, maybe 24, 25. The bishop said I was the baby priest. Get the baby priest over here. So I go in there. You think Father Chris looked like real young? I mean, I started out that way. I did. This just happened. I mean, all right. So I go in there and I set up everything. And, you think you're Fulton Sheen or somebody like that. These poor souls are in there, and, you're going to give them the best sermon they ever heard. Anyway, I started saying the prayers, and I started giving the sermon, and I started to talk about the Blessed Mother. Willie is kneeling at my feet, like this. Yeah. I said, and the Blessed Mother, she was the mother of Jesus. And he'd start off every sentence. Ga, 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 ga. Yeah, Willie, what? Did she clean his clothes? Yeah, Willie, she cleaned his clothes. All right? Start up again. And the angel came to Mary and told her she would be the mother of baby Jesus. Ga, 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 ga. Did she feed the baby? Yeah, Willie, she fed the baby. Start up again. And Joseph took care of Mary and Jesus. Ga, 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 ga. Did she clean the house? Yeah, Willie, she cleaned. Right, yeah, Willie, shut up. I mean, I'm going to strangle you. Like one of Frank Perdue's chickens. Shut up. Let me get done with this masterpiece. All right, all of a sudden it hit me. Something hit me. And it stayed with me all my life. You see, a lot of times we think, when we talk about the saints, the Blessed Mother, and, even Jesus, I mean, let's face it, like, every moment of their lives was not, CNN, I beg your pardon, Fox quality. Or whatever channel you watch. I mean, like, they had to do the average stuff, the normal stuff that everybody does. Right? So Mary, Willie was right. Did she clean the clothes? Yeah. Did she clean the house? Yeah. Did she change the baby? Yeah. Did she feed the baby? Yeah. We don't think of those things. We don't think of those things. And I thought to myself, I went to all these years of school, and I had all these brilliant professors, all their degrees from this university, that university, who studied in Rome. Nobody ever told me that. It took Willie. Sometimes I had to wonder, who's got the brains? Them or Willie? It's little things that we take for granted. All things that we all have to do. All moms have to do those things. And that's what made Mary great. That's what made Mary great. Because she did all those things. She took care of Jesus, and she took care of Joseph. Little things, average things. That's what makes saints. And a lot of you, you look around, a lot of mothers here. You have mothers, your mother's, gone to God. She did all those things too. That's what makes moms great. Now, tell you another story. When I was a young teenager, I guess about 12 or 13, I had a major disagreement with my mother. Right? So, what do you do to make your point and teach this lady a lesson to see things the way I see things? Right? So, we had this major breakdown in negotiations, let's put it that way. So what do you do then? Well, I stopped talking to her. All right? This is what they call today passive-aggressive behavior. You know what it was called then? It was called a major snot. Snot, right? That's what it's called. Yeah, bad kid. I was being bad. That's terrible. So anyway, I stopped talking to her. Huh? I'm Italian, She did everything. Rosalie, capisci? All right, Rosalie understands. The Italian mother, I don't know if it's that way anymore, it used to be, the boys didn't do anything, So she did everything for me. And I wasn't talking to her. I went to school, came home. The food was on the table. She kept cooking. Kept taking care of me. Italian boys don't make their own beds. She still made my bed, even though I wasn't talking to her. Second day. Third day. Laundry. To this day, I don't know how to use the washing machine. The laundry's done. I'm still holding out. Fourth day, I come home. Little book on my bed. I'm going to read it to you. Read it to you. And I kept it with me, I don't know, it must be 50 years now. 50, near 50. And this is what it said. This is What is a Mother by Helen Steiner Rice. It takes a mother's love to make a house a home. A place to be remembered no matter where we roam. It takes a mother's patience to bring a child up right. And to courage and to cheerfulness to make a dark day bright. It takes a mother's thoughtfulness to mend the heart's deep hurts, and her skill and her endurance to mend little socks and shirts. It takes a mother's kindness to forgive us when we err, to sympathize in trouble, and bow her head in prayer. It takes a mother's wisdom to recognize our needs and to give us reassurance by her loving words and deeds. It takes a mother's endless faith, her confidence and trust to guide us through the pitfalls of selfishness and lust. And that is why in all this world there could be no other who could fulfill God's purpose as completely as a mother. God bless all of you wonderful ladies. Thank you for what you've done for us.